You know that feeling when you're sitting in traffic, staring at the back of someone's bumper, and your brain just kind of drifts? And somehow, out of nowhere, you start doing math in your head. Not the fun kind of math. The painful kind. Like, okay, I spent how much last weekend? And you start adding things up, the Uber there, the Uber back, the drinks, the food beforehand because you didn't want to pay concert venue prices. And then the ticket. Except it wasn't just a ticket, was it? It was the VIP package. The one with the laminate and the tote bag and the early entry that you absolutely did not need but absolutely could not say no to when the checkout page slid in front of you like a velvet rope opening just for you. That's me, by the way. That's been me more than once. My name is Nick, and honestly I've spent an embarrassing amount of my adult life thinking about why people spend money the way they do, why we make purchases that feel incredible in the moment and then hollow about 3 days later, and what it says about the systems and the psychology working behind the scenes to make that happen. I'm not a finance guru. I don't have a yacht. I've definitely overpaid for a warm beer in a plastic cup at an outdoor venue. But I've spent a lot of time digging into consumer psychology, the entertainment industry, and the increasingly creative ways that companies extract money from people who are, in that particular moment, just really happy and really excited, and therefore really vulnerable. And today I want to talk about something that I think deserves a lot more scrutiny than it gets. The VIP concert package. Not just the idea of it, but the whole architecture of it. The way it's designed, the way it's sold, the psychological levers it pulls, and whether you're actually getting anything close to what you think you're paying for. Because here's what I think you'll find interesting. By the end of this, you won't just understand why you bought the VIP package. You'll understand why you almost had to. And that shift in perspective from I made a dumb impulse buy to I was navigating a system specifically designed to get me to do that changes everything about how you approach this stuff going forward. So, let's get into it. Let's start at the beginning. You find out your favorite artist is touring. Maybe you've been waiting years for this. Maybe the last time they toured you couldn't afford to go, or you missed the tickets, or life just got in the way. And now they're coming to a city near you, and you open up the ticketing page, and your heart is already doing that little flutter thing. And then you see it. Right there, usually before the regular tickets are even fully visible, is the VIP section. And it's laid out beautifully. The typography is clean, the language is aspirational. There's usually a photo of someone wearing a lanyard and smiling like they've just achieved something. The package might include things like early venue entry, access to a VIP lounge, a meet and greet or photo opportunity with the artist, exclusive merchandise, sometimes a tote bag, a signed poster, a tour program, a premium viewing area, and occasionally something vague like a special pre-show experience that is never quite defined but sounds wonderful. The price for all of this? Usually somewhere between 2 and 10 times the cost of a regular ticket. So if a regular ticket is $80, the VIP package might run you $250, $400, sometimes $800 or more. For major artists, your Beyoncés, your Taylor Swifts, your stadium-filling legends, VIP packages can push past $1,000 per person without blinking. And here's the thing. In that moment, staring at that page, with the countdown timer ticking in the corner and the little notification that says, only 12 VIP packages remaining, it doesn't feel like a scam. It feels like an opportunity. It feels like the universe finally giving you access to something special. It feels, earned somehow. Like this is your moment. That feeling? That's not an accident. That's a design decision. Let's talk about what the word VIP actually does to a person. Very important person. Think about that phrase for a second. It's not good seat. It's not premium ticket. It's a statement about who you are, or who you'll be for one night. Humans are social animals with a deeply wired sensitivity to status and belonging. There's actual research on this. Studies showing that the brain's reward circuitry responds to perceived elevation in social status in a way that's chemically similar to other pleasurable stimuli. When you buy a VIP ticket, you're not just buying a seat. You're buying a temporary identity. You're buying the feeling of being selected, elevated, seen. And the concert environment amplifies this to an almost ridiculous degree. Think about the context. You're already emotionally elevated because you love this artist. You're already in a state of anticipatory excitement. Your decision-making faculties are, let's be honest, not operating at their peak. And into that highly receptive emotional state walks the VIP offer, draped in velvet and validated by scarcity. The combination is almost unfair. There's a concept in behavioral economics called the halo effect, the tendency for a positive impression in one area to spill over into others. When something is labeled VIP, everything associated with it gets bathed in that positive light. The tote bag suddenly becomes a collector's item. The early entry becomes a privilege. The laminate becomes a trophy. None of these things changed in any objective sense. The tote bag is still just a tote bag, but the label transforms their perceived value completely. Ticketing companies and artist management teams know this. They've known it for years, and they've built entire revenue structures around it. Okay, so let's actually look at what you're getting. Because I think this is where the gap between perception and reality becomes almost comical. Take the merchandise. A VIP exclusive tote bag or t-shirt sounds special. But the production cost of a basic tote bag with a band logo is somewhere between $2 and $6 at scale. The tour program? A few dollars to print, usually outsourced to the same manufacturers making the merch that's available at the regular merchandise table for $30. The exclusive part of exclusive merchandise is largely a marketing designation, not a material distinction. Early entry. This one's interesting. Early entry to a general admission venue can genuinely be valuable if you want to be close to the stage. But at assigned seat venues, early entry mostly means you get to stand in the lobby for an extra 45 minutes before everyone else is let in. You can explore the merch table, sure, but that's about it. The VIP lounge. Oh, the VIP lounge. I've been in a few of these. They are almost universally a sectioned-off area somewhere in the venue with slightly nicer lighting, a cash bar, not open bar, a cash bar, and a few high-top tables. That's it. That's the lounge. The premium viewing area is perhaps the most contextually variable. Sometimes it genuinely does offer a better sightline. But often, especially in arena settings, the VIP area is either a floor section that's actually farther from the stage than the cheap seats upstairs, or it's a roped-off section to the side with a perfectly adequate, but not obviously superior view. And then there's the meet and greet. This is the one that people spend the most money on, and it deserves its own extended conversation, because what is being sold versus what is being delivered is one of the more quietly shocking disparities in the entire live entertainment industry. I want to be careful here because I'm not trying to be cynical for the sake of it. Some artists genuinely love meeting their fans. Some meet and greets are warm, spontaneous, memorable. I don't want to take that away from anyone. But the structured, packaged, ticketed meet and greet has evolved into something quite different from a genuine artist-fan connection. It's become, in many cases, a highly choreographed, tightly timed transaction. Here's how a typical packaged meet and greet actually works. You arrive at a designated area before the show. You're herded, and I use that word deliberately, into a line with the other VIP package holders. Staff members brief you on the rules. No hugging, keep it moving, phones must be held a certain way, or handed to the photographer. You approach the artist. You have somewhere between 15 and 45 seconds. A photo is taken by the official photographer, not you. Not your friend. You're moved along. You'll receive the photo digitally within 2 to 4 weeks, assuming the vendor doesn't have fulfillment delays, which they often do. The artist, for their part, is often doing this having already been through hours of press obligations, sound check, and media appearances. They're frequently exhausted and operating on autopilot. Some are great at masking this. Others are visibly, almost painfully, elsewhere. And you, the fan who paid $400 for this moment, are left holding a slightly glazed, pleasant, quickly taken photo that your friend on Instagram might think looks cool, but that you privately know contains zero actual human connection. Now, who's actually profiting from this? Here's where it gets interesting. In many cases, the meet and greet revenue doesn't go primarily to the artist at all. Ticketing packages are often managed by third-party fan experience companies, outfits like Fanfire, or artist management subsidiaries that handle VIP fulfillment. The revenue splits between these companies, the venue, the promoter, and the artist management can leave the artists themselves receiving a relatively modest percentage of what you paid. The premium you paid for intimacy is largely being absorbed by intermediaries you've never heard of. Let's talk about the ticketing platform itself for a second, because the VIP package is really just the most visible layer of a broader extraction architecture. When you go to buy a ticket for a major show, you're not just on a website. You're inside a conversion funnel that has been AI/B tested and optimized by teams of UX designers and data analysts whose sole job is to maximize the average revenue per transaction. Every element of that page, the layout, the countdown timers, the scarcity messaging, the upsell prompts, the way the VIP option is presented first before regular tickets, is a deliberate choice backed by data. The countdown timer is a classic scarcity mechanism. Sale ends in 4:32. It creates urgency where urgency may or may not genuinely exist. Sometimes that timer is real, high demand shows do sell out. But often, that timer simply resets, or the scarcity of VIP packages is itself manufactured to drive faster decisions. Because a slower decision is a more rational decision, and a more rational decision might end in you not upgrading. The only X remaining notification is a close cousin. It plays on loss aversion, our tendency to feel the pain of missing out on something more acutely than the pleasure of having it. If you're told there are only 4 VIP packages left, your brain immediately shifts from "should I buy this?" to "can I still get this?" That's a fundamentally different question, and it's one that bypasses a lot of your financial common sense. Then there's the pricing anchoring. When the VIP package is presented first at $350, the regular ticket at $85 suddenly feels like a deal. Even if $85 is itself a stretch, it feels reasonable in comparison to the $350 anchor that's been planted in your head. This is a textbook anchoring technique, and it works reliably well because our brains assess value not in absolute terms but in relative ones. And there's one more thing I want to mention here, which doesn't get talked about enough. The fees. You've done this. You've gotten to the end of the checkout and watched the price climb, the service fee, the facility charge, the order processing fee, until your $85 ticket is $127. These fees are deliberately withheld until the end of the purchase flow because checkout completion rates drop significantly when the full cost is shown up front. The industry knows this. It's not an oversight. It's a strategy.